Hello, and happy Wednesday, everybody. So excited to be here. You know me, I'm just always like, right? So, my name is Ouellette. I'm the host here at Unity Radio at the SuSanity Life show. Super excited to be here with all of you guys. And for many reasons, because it's beautiful outside, the sun's out, which is great for us, right? Because we need that vitamin D. We need that awakening feeling, right, of the light, and so now we're in that process of starting for spring and things like that. We had a little bit of snow the other day, but it's kind of gone, and so now we're kind of like just embracing this new life, right, this new feeling of light and love, right. And so I'm super excited because my guest today, her name is Monique Nicole, and we actually met officially a couple months ago someplace that we love to go to. Hi, Chris, the button, Tiff. We love it to go there, and we had a connection, and we knew we did. And then I asked her if she wanted to come on the show, and she said yes. She owns True North. It's this amazing company. She's very spiritual, a shaman, all these things she was going to tell you about herself. But we actually just met at New Kitchen and just had this 3-hour conversation and could not believe how much we are connected. So if you're watching this, then there's a reason why you're watching it, one. And if you know somebody that needs to be awoke in a way that they're ready for, just send it out, share it away, let people know that we're here, because we're going to have a conversation about new earth and awakening and consciousness. And she makes these awesome, beautiful lotions that you can put on your hands or you can put on your face. She said she puts it on her face, and her face is amazing. You can put it on your face. It has calendula balm, rosemary, almond oil, shea butter, a little bit of beeswax, rose oil, and EVOO. That's what I thought. Extra virgin olive oil, just a little bit. And that's excellent. Actually, it's very good for your body. So she brought me that as a little gift. So anyway, so this is Nicole. Welcome. So just tell the people that are listening and the people that are watching on Facebook who you are. Just either on your journey. Yes.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Helping people remember who they are and why we're here.
Exactly. And so that's what we're talking about in New Kitchen. We're talking about awakening, and what it means to be awake, and the different journeys that you undergo and go through to receive who you are, right? Because it's not just given to you. Definitely not. You are given many chances to receive, but it's your choice to decide to receive when you're ready to receive. And very often we forget. Go backwards, right? Then we go forward, then we go back. We forget it, get it moments, right? We do all these things to shut down the person that we're supposed to be. And so when her and I were talking today at New Kitchen, we realized like how connected that we were in every way. It was really crazy. To the point where her husband, Chris, actually had either come to my clinic or my house or something. I think it was my house, actually. I'm going to start thinking about it more. And I gave him, he told me about his wife, and I gave him one of my business cards. And she just told me about that today. And I don't even know when it was. I completely had forgotten about that. And so that was how I was like, wow. So like, it's almost like the circle of life, right? So everything goes around, and we realize that there's a reason why we met. And so the more that we talk today, the more that we realize we really had to meet. So she's a shaman practitioner. She's a Reiki master. She loves talking about new earth and lower frequency. She transmutes lower frequencies. So the more that we talked about things, so the more that we realized the transition that we have faced since the moment that we were born, really, right?
Right. Absolutely.
And how we both went through things as children. And it, again, at first when we talked about it, you know, I kind of, we realized how much we have been through the similar situations, but we don't live in those things anymore. And we talked at the restaurant about how it's very difficult to not live there anymore.
Yes.
So tell our viewers a little bit more about you and about like your childhood a little bit, your siblings, you know, things like that, so they can kind of get to know you a little bit differently, so that they can resonate with you a little bit, because you never know who's going through similar situations that you are.
Right.
And your story is gonna bring more people in,
Right.
than you know. Like, believe me, I can tell you that. And so tell them a little bit more about you, about your story.
Okay. I was born, let's see, I was the fourth child. So in any home, children get different parents. So my sister had different parents than my other sister had different parents, because our parents go through different stages as well and phases in their life. So me being the fourth child, the way that I grew up, it was a very oppressive home. Grow up in a fear-based home, things to be afraid of, not really seeing the other side of things where both are available here, but growing up in a fear-based home, both parents having their traumas that they brought in through their childhood. And this is how evolution works, though. Each year we're learning more and more how to deal with trauma, how to heal from it, and all of that wonderful stuff. But in my case, I grew up, felt neglected, and this is to place no shame or blame on my parents. They did the very best they could. I picked my parents. I love my parents. My father.
Did you see what she just said? She just said she picked her parents, and I think that we don't realize that.
Yeah.
We don't realize as human beings.
Yep.
That we do. We choose our parents. We choose our life. We know exactly what's going to happen from the minute that we're in the womb of our parents. Same, you know what I mean? And so it's like, anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, I know now that I chose all of the challenges that I've gone through. The home that I grew up in, I felt very unseen, unheard, ignored, dismissed, discarded, disregarded, all of those things. So I grew up learning defense mechanisms, learning how to protect myself. And how do I do that? For one, my soul probably took off at some point, a lot of times. I was around a lot of very unsafe people growing up in my family, and it wasn't a very safe place to be. I know I had happy moments at times. My dad used to bring me to the Cape and things like that are now surfacing in my memories more and more as I tap into that stuff and reflect. But yeah, just the challenges that I'm facing now is learning how to love myself, learning how to hold space for myself, learning how to love myself back to health. It's so important right now. And letting the light of God into my being every single day, knowing that I'm not here doing it alone. Because healing is a self-healing journey. It's a self-hero's journey. So it's a lot of good stuff.
So you worked at McDonald's. That was one of your jobs.
My first job at McDonald's.
How was that?
It was all right. I was there like 4 months.
Huh?
I was there like 4 months. I didn't.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I was there like 4 months. It was right in Webster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I liked it. I loved the little tie I had to wear and the striped little shirts, and it was back in the day. So these T-shirts they wear now and stuff. So
yeah.
But yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I remember working. Well, I went to Catholic school, and I went to St. Stephen's, and so we had to wear those skirts.
Yeah.
The rompers or whatever. And then when you got older, then you wore a white shirt with a tie, with the crisscross tie, and then the skirt. Interesting. When I worked at Papagino's, it was when they had the white polyester one piece, like the nurses wore with the thing, and with the red apron, and then that switched to the red skirts with the white tops. It was crazy, but it's fun. So it was back then that I think back then is when we all like, because I was 16 when you must have been 16. Like I was 16 when I started at
16, 17.
Yeah, or actually 15 and a half. Yeah, but I mean we started that job, and so we start to form our life at that point. And it gives you good and bad sometimes, depending on the person. If you date someone or whatever you decide to do, and so that is really cool. So after McDonald's, then what happened? Oh, you went to Quincy.
I went to, let's see, I went to Quincy. Yeah, I did. I went to Quincy Community College, and I did 2.5 years. Actually, it took me to get my associate's degree in criminal science, criminal justice, and I loved it. I loved going to college. It was just seeing the people. It was great.
That's right. I went Quincy. Yeah. I graduated in 91. Yeah. When I started at Quincy, I started for early childhood. So I went to Fanning Trade for school for early childhood. And then I got to school and I started learning about early childhood and like being in the daycare center. And in my mind, I was like, do I want to have kids? Yes, I do want to have children. Do I want to work with kids all day long and then go home and take care of my own? No, I do not. Okay, so now what? That's how my brain thinks, So then I took a class called self-assessments and career planning at Quincy, and it kept bringing me up business sales, business sales, business sales, business sales, and that's why I ended up going into business to get my degree in business then in 91. I loved Quincy.
I loved it too. Yeah, and I was kind of in that mode where, okay, I'm going to school and I get out of school and what do you do after that? According to society, you get married and you have kids and that's it. So that's kind of what.
Okay, so now you finished school. You did criminal justice. She said to me, she did say to me that she really wanted to be a police officer, but because of an issue with her eye, because you had
I was blinded at birth,
from the forceps.
Forceps. Yeah. My mother's pregnancy. I was all bruised, and so I've had 3 surgeries since on my left eye since that. So,
but you're finding really cool methods like castor oil and things like that to rub on your eye to help heal your
castor oil in there, and it breaks up. And in this new awareness, I have that peripheral vision, and I never paid attention to it as a child. I was also told over and over again that I was blind in this eye. So that programming saying I was blinded in that eye, that's what happens. So now I'm kind of switching that around and saying, how much can I see with this eye?
So we're going to get deeper into this conversation. Guys, this is going to be a very interesting segment because there's a lot of things that are probably going to come out that you're not going to understand. And all I'm going to say to you is that it's a journey, a part of our journey that we've gone on to find some truths. But if you don't understand the truth that we're speaking, then you just do your own research and see if anything that we're saying resonates with you. Are there anything that you're saying that you want to look deeper into? And if you have more conversation, you can always call us at 508-304-1152 and we can have a conversation together if there's something you don't understand. So let's do this, right? Because right now we're all in the process of awakening. So my name is SuSanity Life. I am the host here of SuSanity Life show on Unity Radio 97.9 with Community Connection, and I am the owner of SuSanity in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, a holistic health and wellness clinic. And we'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, Worcester? This is Jacqueline Carr, and I'm inviting you to be inspired with me every Sunday starting at 6 a.m. with the Jacqueline Carr Show on Unity Radio. I'll get you going with a motivating word, special guest, the absolute best music, and a few other surprises. But you gotta tune in on Sundays at Unity Radio to find out. It's Jacqueline Carr, and the Jacqueline Carr Show is happening Sundays from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. right here on Unity Radio 97.9. Worcester's Community Connection, and also streaming on WUTY.org.
Hi, I'm Randy Floyd, host of the Unity and TV show on Unity Radio 97.9. Join me and my guests as we discuss topics on raising diverse cultural communities, music, arts, and healthy lifestyles. I'm Randy Floyd, host of the Unity and TV show, Wednesday at 3 p.m. on Unity Radio 97.9, Worcester's Community Connection.
Support for Unity Radio 97.9 provided by United Way of Central Mass, aiming to improve the community and break the cycle of poverty, and the Renaissance Foundation, seeking to make dreams come true for families in areas of education, social justice, recreation, and operating insight. Unity Radio, listeners.
You're listening to Unity 97.9 FM, WUTY, Worcester.
Hi guys, welcome back to Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. My name again is SuSanity Life. I'm the host here at SuSanity Life Show. Super excited, and the owner of SuSanity in Sturbridge, Massachusetts. My mission is where wellness meets peace of mind, and I have my own SuSanity technique, which is massage, Reiki, polarity, and all kinds of amazing things. So if you're drawn to this station or you're drawn to me, please reach out to me. SuSanityLife.com. Here with Monique Nicole from Sovereign True North, and we are just so her husband Chris actually I gave him my business card to give to her like 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago,
Long time ago.
4 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. And she's been my friend on Facebook since, and we didn't even beyond imagination how stuff happens.
A month ago.
Yeah.
We reconnected.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, anyways, wow, it's crazy. What were we talking about? Oh, so you're talking about your the forceps. So it's interesting because have you ever heard of Brian Arvis? Okay. So Brian Arvis is a chiropractor. And when I was going through my COVID situation, and I ended up at the hospital, and they put me on all kinds of different meds that I probably should never have been on, but I was, because I had no idea what I was doing. I was at the hospital, and it was the second time that I had connected with this person and this doctor, chiropractor. And he started telling a story about his wife and how she had a child, and the first child had difficulties because they used the forceps when they removed this child. So when he went back to school to become a chiropractor and they got pregnant again, he searched for a doctor that would not use forceps. Okay. You can look him up, Brian Arvis. He's amazing. Anyways, so he was talking about the story, and he was saying how he kept interviewing people. No. Finally, he found this doctor. This is going to sound crazy when I tell you this, and people are going to be like, this girl, whatever. Anyway, so he said that it came time for her to go into the labor, and she got into labor, and the baby, whatever. And so the doctor went to grab the forceps off of the thing, and he was like, you're not using those on my wife. It's just not happening. Like, no, you can get this baby out without those. So the doctor said, well, I can't. He's like, then you're fired. Well, when you fire your doctor, you say the words, you're fired, they're fired. Like there's no, you can, I didn't know you could fire your doctor, but
I didn't either.
apparently you
News to
can.
me.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's
yeah,
good to know, though.
because their mission is do no harm.
Yeah.
Do no harm. And so he was talking about that. So then he says to the nurse, he says, I need you to go find the bar that goes at the bottom of this bed on those rings that are at the bottom of the bed.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have not told anyone this, by the way. The bar, you know, that the
Yeah.
women hold on to at the end to
Yep.
give birth. The nurse is like, what are you talking about? He's like, I need you to go find the bar. They find it in the physical therapy closet. They're using it for exercise or something.
Mhm.
He takes it, connects the bar to the bottom of the bed. His wife pushes to the end of the bed. So her pelvis is,
Yep.
and she gives birth perfectly to that baby with him and the nurse,
Of course she does.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I believe that.
and
Right.
it brought, well, this is the thing. So it brought me back to years when I was a kid again, where they had those bars at the end of the bed. And
Yeah, I
the
don't-
women were giving birth, holding on to the bar.
Oh, yes.
Right. And so their pelvis, when you're giving birth, their pelvis is when you're laying down and you're trying to push and they have
Mhm.
you so far, your pelvis is squished like beyond
That-
measure.
yeah.
So you can't, that's
No
why when
kidding.
you stand up or, you know,
Yep.
whatever,
Mhm.
I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And
Yeah.
so I
Women
did some
should know-
research
yeah,
on
You
it.
should know this. People should.
And
know
they
this.
do actually, those bars did exist.
Yeah.
And those little rings at the bottom of the thing. So I found it interesting when you and I were talking and brought that up at the place when you were talking about the forceps. And I was like,
Yeah.
I got to tell her the story because you already know, you already knew that because you already experienced. So because you experienced that, you're aware of it
Mhm.
and you already knew about the forceps before I even told you that story. So that's how connected we are even there too.
That's crazy.
So anyway, so back to your, so the eye. So then, so what she's doing now, guys, is that if you're not aware of Barbara O'Neill, she's a naturopath
Oh, I love
person.
Barbara O'Neill.
She's awesome. And she talks about putting castor oil on your eyes to help
Yeah.
with cataracts
I
or
drip. I
Or-
put it right in.
and
Yeah.
and also to put it on your belly for like
Yes.
menopause and stuff,
Yeah.
and to put it in your belly button and
Yeah.
different stuff like that. Like castor oil is,
Yeah.
they would give it to you when you were sick when you were kids. Now
Yes.
it's for everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's for everything.
Even taking a bath. You take a bath when you don't feel good.
Yeah.
A detox bath.
Yeah. You put castor oil in it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Everything in there.
So you had a bunch of surgeries with your eye, and now you're using castor oil, so it's better.
Yes. I feel
But
like
you also
this-
talked about some other things that you went through. Your frozen shoulder.
Yes, I had frozen shoulder for 3 years. I was told that I had a torn ligament for about 6-8 months, and I didn't move it. And the thing with the frozen shoulder is they tell you to move it. So I didn't move it for 8 months, and then I couldn't move it. It was extremely painful. One of the most painful things. And I worked during that, taking care of 4 brain injured individuals. And I just pushed through the pain. And now I'm learning not to do that now.
We do, though. We all do. So all of
Yes.
you guys too that are listening and watching, I mean, how many times do you I like that. How many times do you push through the pain and just let the pain take over instead of like being like, all right, where does
Yeah.
this pain come from? And why do I have this pain? And do I have to keep it? I mean, is there any way that I can get rid of it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so they told her that she should not move her shoulder for 8 months. And then she had a frozen shoulder, and then her shoulder got worse because she didn't
Yeah.
move it for 8 months. Whereas an OT, as an OTA,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you have rotator cuff stuff or whatever, I mean, you have to be very careful. But even hip surgeries, we're constantly, like the minute somebody has a hip, like within days, we're already in
Right.
the room trying to move them, their arms and stuff like that, within reason, of course, under doctor's advisement, everything we need to talk about the doctor with. But at the same time, it's like, okay, so my right shoulder after my motorcycle accident, I had a rod all the way across my shoulder.
Yeah.
And I had no range of motion, zero. Like I could go
Yeah.
this side.
Okay.
I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
This is not gonna work.
I had tennis elbow surgery,
And
so I
you had
couldn't
that-
move it for a month.
Yeah.
I was like this for a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ended up going to Boston, and I went to a couple doctors. They all refused to take it out. And then I finally found a surgeon in Boston, and my girlfriend Kelly,
Yeah.
she'll kill me, but my girlfriend Kelly is like, if we go to the doctors in Boston and he says no, cry, just cry, start crying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just start crying. So he's like, I really can't, you know, this is
I cry anyways.
this is up.
So
This
I'm in
could be a
friggin'
this could
pain,
be a
so
liability
I'm in
for
pain,
me,
yeah.
and da. And I was like, you don't understand.
Yeah.
I get this really bad motorcycle.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, no. And he's like, all right, I'll do it. And he did. And now I have full range of motion. That's why I'm able to do what I was doing. But if I put that screw in my rod in my thing, I never would have been doing what I'm doing. And you wouldn't have figured it out either. So it's like, okay, so the tennis elbow. So that's interesting how we're connected there too. I wasn't even thinking that when you told me that earlier. It was like, wait a minute. Same shoulder, like crazy. But anyway, all right. So then what else happened?
Let's see. After the tennis elbow surgery, I had a salpingectomy.
Yes,
And
explain what that
is. It's a
is.
removal of the fallopian tubes. I had the birth control Eshore. They're little coils that they insert into the fallopian tubes, and it builds up scar tissue around the coils, and it prevents pregnancy. I thought it was safe, whole thing. And probably maybe a year later, started getting very crampy daily, nonstop, and my intuition, not something, my intuition told me to go see someone and to get them out. And I basically said that to my doctor, and thank God I had a beautiful doctor that looked at me and said, okay. And she scheduled the surgery, and I had them taken out.
Thank goodness.
They got them out and everything. And the cramps stopped immediately.
And they weren't good.
Nope.
Yeah.
They stopped. They found one further up, and it wasn't good. But I'm grateful.
Yeah. So we don't, guys, listen, we're not telling you this because we want you to run out and be like, oh, this is what they said. You need to do your research and find out, like, how, before you take any type of action towards anything, you speak to your doctor, you find out how you feel, you do your research to see if any of this stuff that you're going through, whether it's a physical pain or a mental pain or an emotional pain, like if there's something that can help you feel better from pain or anything, right? Because we all have stuff. Like Monique has stuff. My producer Oscar has stuff. I have stuff. Ernie has stuff. We all have stuff, but we're here collectively now to talk about healing from that stuff, to bring in new earth that's been here forever and a day, but because of the way that the world is and the way that things are, and how sometimes people are so blind to the truth that they don't want to see it. One, because if they see it, then they have to admit to themselves that they've been wrong this entire time. And two, they just don't want to. They just don't want to. They just want to sleep, right? And so, new earth. Talk about new earth a little bit.
Oh, new earth. New earth is here. It is readily available to anybody. It's a state of being. It's a certain frequency. What does that frequency look like? There's different frequencies that we move in and out, that move through us. The frequency of new earth is based in love. It's based in acceptance, connection. And when we tap into those frequencies, the lower dense frequencies, lower dense energies are not viable up in those higher frequencies. And we're all going through this. We're all, as a collective, as a whole earth, and as individually. So we're learning how to clear out the old densities, the old structures within us, mental structures, mental constructs, as well as emotional things that we need to release and let go of. And that releases some of the stuff and makes room for new light, new frequencies, new earth to flow through. Mm-hmm. And when more and more people do this, we awaken one another.
Exactly. We plant the seed.
Yes.
So guys, see, this is going to be so fun. We got another half an hour. I'm excited. I get so crazy. But so Monique Nicole from Sovereign True North is here to help us figure out the collective stature of where we all are, which I've known for a long time and she's known for a long time. So you are listening to SuSanity Life on Unity Radio 97.9 FM with Community Connection, and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Consistency. And it's your girl Chantel in the building. Yes, y'all go ahead and follow us everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google 508. That's THEWOO 508. Hi, I'm Suzanne Grant Anderson, also known as Positively Suzanne, host of Black in Business, Thursdays at 5 p.m. on Unity Radio 97.9. Black in Business is a series of conversations with influential members of the Black business community. These entrepreneurs knows what it means to risk everything to create successful businesses and spark positive changes in the community. So join us. Again, I'm Suzanne Graham Anderson, also known as Positively Suzanne, right here on Black in Business, Thursdays at 5 p.m. on Unity Radio 97.9, Worcester's Community Connection.
Tune in to Affirmations with Alex, and together we will affirm our way to a healthier mindset by listening to empowering messages. Hi, I'm Alex from Affirmations with Alex. Join me every Monday through Thursday at 10 p.m. on Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection.
You're listening to Unity Radio, Worcester's Community Connection.
So welcome back, everybody, to Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. Again, my name is SuSanity. I'm the host here at the SuSanity Life Show and the owner of SuSanity in Sturbridge, Mass, SuSanityLife.com. Here with Monique Nicole from Sovereign True North. And yeah, this conversation's getting a little bit deep because it has to, right? So if you watch TikTok or you watch Facebook or any of the Instagram channels, a lot of the collectives, a lot of the collective humans that are now part of awakening the masses are all collectively coming together in different ways, right? And we were just talking on during the break because some people are ready and some people are not. And so in order to be able to get you to that place where you are ready, you do have to make some changes. Like you have to figure out the frequencies of your life. And in order to do that, you have to let go of things that no longer serve your purpose. And a lot of times, because of how we're raised, the older that you are, the harder it is to let go of those things because you don't even know they exist sometimes inside your inner core, inside your root, inside the root cause of you, inside your inner child sphere of life, right? And so people like Dolores Cannon and Louise Hay and the books like The Secret and the books that I wrote, the 5 books that I wrote, there's going to be a book coming from Monique at some point eventually. I mean, my friend Angela Mia White that wrote this amazing book, on another couple people that wrote children's books and things like that. There's so many different things out there that are meant to awaken the masses and not because we want to harm anyone, because we want people to see the truth about the love that they have inside and outside, and that they don't have to give away love to receive love, but they have to be love to receive love. They have to have love to receive love. Love is the main thing. And if you don't truly love yourself and you don't learn that part of the journey, how can you honestly love anybody? And it goes back to the childhood stuff where to be able to understand that part of us, we've gone through abuse. We've gone through addiction. We've gone through being in a relationship with parents that have had situations that have never grown before us. And so generationally, we're here to break that curse. We're here to break that cause. We're here to take back our life and be like, I'm sorry, but Rome wasn't built in a day, but man, I'm going to help build that. I'm going to help build Rome. Right. And so her two daughters, she's got two daughters. She's got Montana and Skyla. And I saw a picture. They're both absolutely gorgeous. And I love that we are collectively able to do this for our children so that they never have to go through this. Because the younger that they are, the more that we can tap into that part of them, teach them some of the frequency, and then they get to choose what they want. But at least we can give them a nudge. So tell the viewers about your daughters.
Absolutely. My daughters, Montana and Skyla. Montana, she's beautiful. She'll be 25 next month. And my daughter, Sky, is 23. They're beautiful. They're great girls. They're both strong. You can tell they're my daughters. They're both strong. They wear their heart on their sleeve. They're compassionate. They're smart. They're funny. And they have this strength about them that only comes from a mother who has lived and has had to tap into that strength. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what it is. My daughters, they're beautiful. They've been there for me. Through times. They're beautiful lights. They're happy though. They smile, they laugh. We talk about how to process emotions, how to work through emotions, how to regulate. Mm-hmm. It's so important that our kids today know how to regulate their emotions. Most of us parents, I didn't learn that. They had a very dysregulated parent growing up at times. Mm-hmm. I've tried very hard to be more conscious parenting and just working on that more, but they're beautiful girls. They're just very strong girls. I have stepkids and they're beautiful kids. And in my home in particular, I've created this beautiful home and it's complete opposite of what I grew up in. There's love in my home. There's healing in my home. There's support there.
Yeah.
And it's something when you walk into my home, it's absolutely felt.
Yeah.
The love is felt there.
I love that. And your husband, Chris?
My husband,
You've
Chris,
been with
is
him
wonderful.
since 2013, you said?
Yep.
Yeah.
2013. And we've built a beautiful home together.
Our got kids, married in 18?
Yeah, I think. Yep. 2018, I think. I'm not good with dates. It's just doesn't matter. We love each other. Yeah. And our kids together are beautiful. When our family is together, we laugh. It's joyful. It brings me the most joy when my family is all together. And my husband, Chris, he has created the space for me to heal in my home. I never felt safe with a man ever in my entire life that I do with him. Yeah. And I'm 53 years old. And I'm learning how to rest in my feminine with him. I'm learning how to soften. It was always there, but I had to step into my masculine and very much of my life to protect myself, to survive, which many women are doing now. They're surviving.
Say that.
Which is surviving.
Yeah. Which is interesting how.
And they don't even know they're there.
No. Which is interesting how right now we're going through that whole trajectory phase of femininity, masculinity. Am I a man? Am I a woman? Listen, the truth is this: we all have feminine and masculine in us. Depending on your birth sign, you might have more feminine than more masculine. You might have more masculine than feminine. It doesn't really matter. But the more that you've gone through in your life, it's like you're confused. And these kids right now, a lot of them are confused, and not because, and they should be exactly who they want to be. If whatever they want to be, they should be able to be that person without any judgment from anybody here. Because we all have the ability to be feminine and masculine regardless. Like, let's face it, we all have both. Some more than others, but it's just, so that when you said that too, at the restaurant, you were talking about how you felt you were a lot more masculine. I think a lot of us are, especially when you go through what you go through as a kid and you put your trust into these adults who then decide to violate you in any way, shape, or form, because you don't understand. You blame yourself, one, and two, it's like you you go back into that sense of self that you felt safe. And the only
Mhm.
place that we both actually felt safe
Yeah.
was in that masculinity.
Mhm.
Like, and that's when you shut down a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. And so Chris brings out in you the feminine part of you.
Yes.
You know, you could still have some masculine too,
Yeah, it's feeling safe,
but you
enough
feel safe. Exactly.
to rest back into your feminine.
Yeah.
In the world right now as a whole is learning to come back into balance with those.
Yeah.
The masculine and feminine.
The yin and the yang.
We're coming from
Yeah.
a very patriarchal structure.
Yeah.
That was very oppressive and in big.
Yeah.
And it suppressed the feminine.
Yeah.
So now there's no stopping it.
Yeah.
We're coming back
There is
into
no stopping
balance.
it. See, but-
And
I
it's
don't
the
think people
rise,
realize
yeah,
that,
it's
but
the
there is
rise
no-
of the feminine in every single person walking
Yeah.
the earth.
Yeah.
Because the masculine, it was also suppressed in the masculine as well. They had to be the tough one. They had to be so men, I'm saying to you right now, it's okay to be soft with your feminine because
Yeah.
it's learning to balance both.
Mhm.
And we each have a very specific role here.
Mhm.
The feminine, we nurture, we give life to all there is. And the masculine is the protector provider.
Mhm.
And there's very specific roles.
Mhm.
And coming from this feminine movement back in the day,
Yeah.
and we thought we were doing well. And
Yeah.
it's all this evolution. It's turning it into something beautiful. It's turning it into look at us now.
Mhm.
And now we're learning
Mhm.
just so many different beautiful things. We can both be here in our own roles and it can work together. And when that masculine gets with the feminine and they both step into both those roles that they're here for, the divine, the beautiful universe works in favor of that and everything blooms into something.
And God is good.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
because God, spirit, Jesus, universally understands that,
Mhm.
and put rules, let's say in a book to help us
Mhm.
understand it, but not to only follow the rules, to understand the rules and want to understand the 10 commandments or whatever they
Yep.
are, all those things. Like they weren't written for us to be, they were written
Right.
to give us a guide to be able to figure out life the way that we're supposed to figure it out, that we always knew was supposed to.
Yeah.
But we didn't understand it. And so we were talking about that too earlier, how collectively a lot of us have gone through things in the past from a past life that we are now figuring out the reason why we're here,
Mhm.
with regards to what we were talking earlier about the trafficking and how that's all of a sudden becoming this
Yes.
massive thing, and different videos and stuff that are now being
Right.
shown to the public, and politics, how politics has changed, how we didn't realize that politics, we never really had a part of it, and they want us to believe it, but we really didn't. And all these little things that are part of our dynamic, and the reason why we're all here collectively is so that we can show and guide and give people a little bit of a nudge, just so that they can be like, all right, so that's over here, but why can't I think this way? Why do I have to do this? Why can't I think of the way that I want to think? And the
Right.
truth is, you can, we can,
Right.
but we didn't know we could.
Mhm.
We didn't know we could.
Yeah.
So so at your practice, you do shamanism, and you were talking about breath work, and you were talking about how you became a shaman, and the Reiki, or a Reiki master, and things. And that when you get people, tell because we go through the same thing. Tell our viewers a little bit about when you have someone on the table, what happens.
Let's see. When I have someone on the table, I open up the space. I connect with myself before the client comes in. I connect with myself before the client comes in, and make sure there's nothing that I have. I connect with God. I connect with spirit. Make sure that I'm in the right space to do that. When a client comes in, we talk, see where they are. I talk, see where they are. I can typically pick up on dense energies that they may be holding on to. I'm an energetic healer, so that's what it does. And
So we're going to get back into
Okay.
that because
All
that's
right.
now that's the end because that's when you're going to talk. Well, it's not
All
the end. We got one more segment.
All
So
right.
excited. So guys, my name is SuSanity Life. I'm the host here at the SuSanity Life show on Unity Radio 97.9 FM with Community Connection and the owner of SuSanity in Sturbridge, Mass. You can look me up at SuSanityLife.com. I'm here with Monique Nicole from Sovereign True North and a bunch of other stuff too. She's just amazing. And she's going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit more about that part of her journey and her artistic abilities and the oils that she makes and all these amazing things. So we'll be right back.
And you're listening to SuSanity.
Hi, everyone. Floyd, host of the Unity and the Community Show on Radio 97.9. Join me and my guests to discuss topics on raising diverse cultural communities, music, art, and healthy lifestyles. I'm Randy Floyd, host of the Unity and the Community Show. Wednesday, 3 p.m. on Unity Radio 97.9. Worcester's Community.
Invitan a escuchar el bloque latino todos los sábados de 7 de la mañana hasta la 1 de la tarde por los 97.9 FM en la ciudad de Worcester. Let's talk Worcester. Unity 97.9.
So, guys, this is our last segment. I want to thank everybody that's taking time out of their day to watch this with us and send my love to everyone because this show is about sharing people's journeys. It's about embracing the do's and the don'ts, the forget it, get it moments, the times where, so often we want to be heard and we're not, and I want you to know that from my bottom of my heart, Ernie, Floyd, Oscar, all of us here at Unity Radio, that we welcome you to come on the show if you want to talk about your journey, if you want to be a part of this amazing community that we're creating. And I want to thank Monique Nicole for coming on because her story is going to move some mountains, I think. And we collectively are so connected. It's crazy. So it's nice. It's nice to finally feel like there's someone that gets you, right? There's someone that understands the trajectory and understands the purpose and understands. And even if you're not on the same exact level, like willing to see the difference, and it's okay to have differences, So we talked about that too, about, when you're younger and you're different, and she was talking earlier about, and I was telling her too about how, like, when you have dreams, her deja vus, or sometimes you feel darkness around you, at the house, if you see, spirits that, are dark, and their soul hasn't crossed over or whatever. They're just in there for whatever reason. Evil does exist. And we collectively right now are erasing a lot of that because we don't want to live there anymore. Right. And the sad part is there's a lot of that out there. But there's a lot more of us out there now too, and there's a lot more collectively connecting, which is a beautiful thing. And so one of the things that Monique was talking about is how she does. She's going to have. I'm not show you. She's an artist. She draws these beautiful wings, and she'll talk about that. And then she'll talk about her oils and things like that. So tell everyone about your creative side. You got that. you definitely have to do. I need to drink some angel wings for something of mine, so I can put it on. Like, yeah, it's beautiful. Her jacket is stunning, like beyond stunning. And then she gave me this this balm to put on my face, like I showed you earlier, and they put on my hands, and my hands feel so good.
Thank you. My creative side really just kind of came out the last couple of years. Resting in my feminine, because that's where it is. It's the sacral chakra. Your creativity is your sacral chakra. And it definitely is spirit coming through. Everything that I create is my spirit, my soul expression coming through. And that's even in my shamanism. My light language comes through. My everything comes through. It comes through spirit. The wings. It just comes through. So it's not, I don't think of it. It's something that comes through, and it flows. I flow with it. I know it's a download. That's what it is. It's a download given by the Holy Spirit. And I started painting wings on my clothes, and now I'm painting my jeans. I've painted clothes for people for Christmas, for their nieces. Put wings on those. Every angel needs their wings. An angel, an earth angel. That's my purpose is here. So, but yeah, I've dabbled in. I love herbalism. I have so many herbs from my own garden that I've grown. I've made my own lotion. I sell it now. I've made my own tinctures. I do a goldenrod tincture for antiseptic purposes. I use mullein tincture for lungs, respiratory health. That's very good. I've made that out of my garden as well. I've done a lemon balm tincture as well as a thyme tincture. And these are all made from my home. And it came through. It came through from my ancestors who were here before me. I'm very connected to the earth. I go out in my backyard and I sit and I meditate. I feel my ancestors in the trees around me. Yep. It's just, I feel them all around me. Beautiful. Very connected to the earth. And yeah.
So you have a show coming up.
I do. I have a show coming up at the Rose Room. I'll be at the Rose Room in Webster, Mass. I'll have a table set up with everything that I have. I have a business card. It's right here on my wrist, actually. It's this new thing. You ever see this? It's called the Dot. You just
I have the Dot.
Yeah.
I don't have that, but I have the card.
Yeah.
So see again.
Yeah.
This is crazy how connected we. I should order.
Yeah, it's just I make these beautiful ceremonial feather wands from my own duck feathers. I have ducks at home, and I make these beautiful ceremonial wands. They're for clearing energies in your home. I also teach people how to do that. I go to people's houses, cleanse homes, teach people how to clear their energetic fields, anything like that. It's very important that we know how to do this.
Yep.
That we know how to clear our fields, ground in the morning, clear at night. And your home is your sacred space. Your home is your safe space. It should be very peaceful in your home. In no worry, nothing. Let's see, what else have I done?
So if you could tell our viewers or our listeners the one thing that you think would be the most important or important for them to do, like on a daily basis, to release pain or stress or the emotional baggage, that we sometimes carry, because stress is huge, pain is huge. At SuSanity, that's what I do. I get rid of, or help get rid of stress, help get rid of pain, help do breath work, do intuitive guidance, use tuning forks, all these things that I use. Like since you've been awake for 6 years now.
Yes, 6 years. Awakening.
If there's something that you could tell our viewers that you think that they could do, if you could share that would be great, because we're almost.
Absolutely. Our main thing right now in this world is we need to learn how to regulate our nervous system. So how do we self-regulate? We bring ourselves to a state of stillness. This is done every single morning. You do not touch your phone. You have to find stillness in the morning, and you bring down the light of God into your being. You ground every single day as much as you can throughout the day. You're bringing in the light of God, and it clears and it opens space for beautiful light to come in. It's a very important practice.
And if you don't believe in God, just know this, like
the light.
God is the creator of everything. The word God is just that.
Yeah.
The word God. but we have the Holy Spirit, we have the universe, we have divine,
Source.
we have source, we have collective, we have angels, we have all these. There's all these words, and they're not meant to make you believe that you're like, like I'm
Yeah.
I believe. Like, no, that's not at all how it's supposed to be.
Right.
It's what we brought to think about, but it's not the way that we're supposed to facilitate through life, right? Your belief system is yours. Hers is hers. Mine is mine. I do believe in God. I believe he saved my life in 2015. No one will ever tell me a different, because I believe in my heart that I had to be saved because I was going through some stuff. And luckily I was, and I figured things out, and I still figure it out. I'm definitely a work in progress every single day, but I figured that out too. It's like given that gift of just the knowledge of believing in something that gives you peace and love and joy is what God is. God is this person, place, thing, them, they, that, he, she, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's just this feeling inside that gives you hope and peace and joy. Like, you know what I mean?
And it's finding your peace.
Yeah.
It's finding your peace in this chaotic world.
Yeah.
As much as there is chaos and confusion, right next to that, right here, is calm and stillness.
Yeah.
So how can we come back into that? How can we come back here and reclaim our sovereignty?
Exactly.
Reclaim our agency.
Yep.
Over everything that distracts us, pulls us away from our center.
Yep.
And it's coming back here. And if you can't do it yourself, please reach out. There are healers
So
everywhere.
how can people reach out to you?
I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram.
It's under
Monique Nicole is on Facebook. And then I have a group page called True North. Yeah.
So we're going to post some things on our page, and we're going to post this video. She'll post it. And if you guys you can always reach out to, me, or you can reach out to Nicole. I can connect you with her. She is going to be from 9 to what?
9 to
Why
1.
is my throat going crazy? Someone needs to talk to us. See what happens? Right now I've got people on there going, hey, I have something to say. And I'm like, call in. You can't now. It's too late. But anyway, so we're telling where you're going to be again?
Yep. The Rose Room in Webster, Mass, on April 4th.
From
it's a Saturday, 9 to 1.
Okay, perfect.
And
so guys, you can go there. You can see her beautiful. You can see her beautiful bomb.
Yep.
She's gonna have her little bombs there, and you can see her beautiful jacket. She's like, this for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Wings. I have them on my back.
Absolutely.
You never know when you need to find that person that's going to help you heal, right? And you have to be ready. And if you're ready and this resonates with you, please reach out to us. Give us the chance to let you be you the way that you're always supposed to have been you, right? Because we're all human beings living a spiritual beings living a human existence and trying to figure out how do we get out of bed every day. That's all we do, right? So I want to thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for this
Hopefully you'll join me again.
Absolutely.
And guys, please look her up and go see her in Webster, at the Rose Room.
The Rose Room.
From 9 to 1 if you want any of her things. So this is Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester Community Connection. My name again is SuSanity. I'm the host here and the owner of SuSanity in Surrey, Massachusetts, SuSanityLife.com. And I will see you guys next week. Have a fantastic week, guys. Take care. Bye.